Ladies and gentlemen,
welcome to our second episode.
Reminder, this mini podcast is for those entering a relationship or dating somebody and don't know how to go about certain situations. If you've been married and you have an amazing relationship, God bless you guys, but
this is not for you.
It's not. But thank you for listening. I mean, listen, because again, you could have something that we say that you might want to incorporate into your marriage. So,
and you can leave those in comments.
For other people. And we will have people that have been married for long periods of time, and we're going to ask them how.
They want to give us advice.
Yeah.
And I'll take all of that in.
Absolutely. So, yeah. And speaking of dating and love and all that stuff, Valentine's is around the corner.
Will you be my Valentine?
Let me think about it. Let's see how this episode goes before I become your Valentine. Is that all right?
Bitch.
I'm supposed to ask you, though. Just call me a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, Valentine's.
Yes.
Funny how you said, do you want to be my Valentine? Because usually it's the men that ask the women, right? When it comes to everything, proposal, stuff like that. But I know you said it as
2023.
It's 2023. Oh, trust me, there's a lot of people that are relationship purists that,
a man has to do everything and a woman can't do it.
But there's women's rights and all that stuff and equality. But yeah, that'll be another episode. Like, they want equality, but only when it benefits.
Yeah, but you still have to bring me flowers and open my door.
Yeah. So, question about that. Oh, what's funny? Some women actually don't like the door being open for them because that's like some sort of toxic masculinity.
I feel like those are the women that really are men.
Yeah.
And they believe they're men inside.
Yeah.
And that's probably why.
Well, I guess I wouldn't say men per se. I would say that they just have a real sense of independence and they're feminists. I think that's my opinion on that. Like they're men. They have toxic masculinity.
I'm sorry. They probably have a hairy armpit.
But yeah, let's talk about like Valentine's norm and why it gets depressing for a lot of people and why people feel pressured to like buy gifts. Like, it's funny because the other day I told you, like, babe, I feel pressure. I don't know what to get you for Valentine's because Valentine's is not when I only get you gifts. We buy each other stuff randomly. So what's the real weight of Valentine in a relationship?
It's not a weight. It's like you expect it to happen, right? But you do get gifts, well, I do. I get gifts throughout the year. So
thank you for those sneakers, by the way.
You're welcome.
They look nice on my feet. Got me my first pair of Jordans. Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to shout you out. But go ahead.
Thank you. I just feel that it's nice to do something on that day because we love each other, right? But we do something nice every other day. So it's okay, to do something nice on that day. I feel that if you don't do anything nice throughout the whole year, then you shouldn't do anything for me on that day.
Right.
I keep it the same. Like, I want you to stay consistent.
Yeah, because I've seen this meme that says, if you only get your significant other something on Valentine's Day, you failed in the relationship the other 364 or 365 days, depending on leap year. But for me, I just feel that just spending time with each other on Valentine's Day and not necessarily have to go the commercial route.
Yeah, it's
for example, for relationships that are like you and I, like I told you, we get each other gifts randomly. It doesn't have to be a specific occasion.
But it's things that I know that you need or that...
And that you could get me any other day that's not Valentine's Day.
Yeah. And I get used... I don't know. I'm just a detailed person.
I love it. No, don't get me wrong. I love the detail. And I'm a detailed person too. But, again, this is more for people that, it's commercialized. Everything.
It's very commercialized. But if you do it in a beautiful, loving note, right? And like I don't know how to explain it. Like, if you do it that it's not commercial, it would be beautiful. Like, I don't need you to give me a dozen roses, right?
Right.
One would have been enough.
Right.
Because you love me and you're just thinking of me on that day, and you saw that one rose and you want to give it to me. Or you buy me my favorite flower.
Yeah.
You know, like, if you're detailed with the gift, any little thing would be beautiful, and I would accept it.
Like, the other day, I just bought you random roses because you were having a bad morning.
Yes.
It wasn't Valentine's Day.
No. Yeah. But on Valentine's,
and they were cheaper too, because now this week they're gonna go up like they're gonna be more expensive than eggs.
I'm gonna speak in you're stupid again. I'm gonna speak in the women's point of view. Okay. Like
I hope so.
Wait, no, because sometimes I feel like I'm a man too. I don't know.
You are the sneakerhead in this relationship.
I feel that even though women say they don't want anything on Valentine's Day, they really do want something on Valentine's Day. Like, because they see other women getting, flowers getting delivered to work, or like when they get home, they get surprised, they get an edible arrangement.
I understand that.
You understand? Like, even though it's commercialized and we know it's commercialized, and like we know that if you get it for me, it's because it's Valentine's Day. But I still want you to get me something.
Okay, which is fair. I'll give you that, which is fair. But what I think, again, my opinion on it, and again, it's not being cheap. This has nothing to do with money.
But we're never gonna be satisfied. Just throwing that out there.
That's what I'm saying.
So because you've been an asshole with me for 364 days. On this day, I'm gonna be like, yeah, bitch, you better get it for me. But I'm still gonna be upset because you're still not doing this for me. You understand?
Right,
versus me and you, that we do this for each other. And when you get it from me, like, oh, my baby bought me flowers.
Yeah, of course.
You understand?
Like, I get it 100%.
It's the point of surprise and to show off to other people.
Yeah, but I guess
that's what it is.
But yeah, that in the social media age, it's a lot of.
That's what it is. I just want to take it for the gram.
And like I said, even when I post, I was like, I love posting us. I love posting our love, not because we're like, oh yeah, this is the best.
I'm not showing off, and you know it, that I will fight you.
It's more like
in the beginning, I fought you a lot. I'm like, why do you need to post it?
Because number one, I'm extremely happy because you've been the best relationship I've had in my life. I'm literally gonna say my entire life. But at the same time, I want to inspire others because I know friends, male and female, that are like, damn, like love doesn't exist. And people like us I believe our job, not for them to envy us, idolize us, want to be like us, is to show that love does exist no matter what age. Look, it took me 40 years, over 30 years to find somebody. Like, I wouldn't say 30 years because I was a kid. When I started dating, let's say at 16, right? So let's say it took me 24 years to like actually find a soulmate. Because that's what I really think you are, a soulmate. And I know you are my soulmate because things that we won't talk about on this podcast, but we know why.
Yeah.
Why we're meant to be with each other. That nobody, no fight, no person will get in between us, right?
Yeah.
Which is why the jealousy at the beginning of this relationship that you exuded, right? Let's be real, that you exuded was mind-boggling to me because how we spoke about it in our last podcast, I was extremely transparent with you from day one, but the jealousy was still there. So explain.
But wait.
Yeah, okay. Before we get into that topic,
yes.
Sorry.
Before
I jumped the gun, guys.
You really did. Okay, so before we get into that, I had a pact with my best friend. I still have it. It's been 7 years now. She's been in all these miserable relationships where she doesn't even get one keychain, right? So on a Valentine, I always say happy Valentine's to my friends,
right? And
I buy them little flowers and stuff.
That's sweet.
And I didn't know that I was actually doing something that she's never received. She literally started crying and said to me, it's really sad because you're my best friend. She said, but guys need to be like you because you're so detailed. You're
amazingly detailed.
You're so detailed and random, and it's like that this is what I wanted, right? And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah. And she's like, Like, I want him to buy me this, I want him to do this, I want him to do that, and he doesn't do it. And she's like, I don't understand. Like, if you was a dude, I would date you. And I start laughing, right? So I told her, I was like, all right, so this is what we're gonna do. Every Valentine's Day, whether you're with him or with anybody else, I'm going to buy you something. You're always gonna be my Valentine. That's what I told her. And I said, and you'll be mine, whether we with somebody or not. And she was like, okay. So for 7 years now, I'll show you later what she got me and what I got her. For 7 years now, we've been buying each other Valentine's Day. So that way we get it at work or we get it at home. You know, like, we don't know where it's going to show up, but we know it's going to show up, and we could post it that our love bought us something, you know?
Yeah.
Which is nice. You don't need to have a man do it for you. That was my point.
Correct.
I have, you know, my best friend, and she has me, you know? So you guys could do that as well. It doesn't have to be your man, you know?
Yeah.
That was, you know, the cute little story that I have.
Yeah.
But you want to get into my jealousy, so let's get into my jealousy, because I'm gonna explain to you that it wasn't, but whatever.
So jealousy, jealousy in Merriam-Webster is described as a disposition, feeling, and attitude, right? Mm-hmm. As for Merriam-Webster, so attitude, right? So jealousy leads to attitude, right? Mm-hmm. And I just believe that jealousy in any form leads to toxicity, right? So as I told you before, I was cheated on twice, but in both my marriages, I was cheated on twice. So if I were to come into any other relationship, automatically assuming that you're going to cheat on me and I'm going to be jealous of every single guy that's around you,
then you shouldn't be in a relationship.
Then I shouldn't be in a relationship because I'm not healed, right?
Yes.
Correct. So jealousy, when somebody's jealous, they haven't healed from their past relationship, their past trauma, right?
Yeah.
In my opinion.
They haven't gotten over it yet.
Right. Which is why you can build a new house with old bricks.
You need a new foundation.
All right. So you're saying that you weren't jealous, but to me,
it was jealousy. So I'm going to explain to you.
Okay.
All right. So there is a very thin line between territorial and jealousy.
Right. Well, there's nothing wrong with being territorial. We've gone over that in private.
I am not jealous of anybody because I know that who I am.
Right.
To me, a hot girl is not somebody that has ass, tits, and a skinny little waist. To me, a hot girl is somebody that can handle herself and doesn't need no man to take care of herself.
Right.
Right. And that is what I bring to the table. I have no talent. I have, you know, like, everybody says I'm beautiful and all this other stuff, right? But in reality, like, I don't see it, which I think that's why it makes me more beautiful, because I don't see it.
You don't see how beautiful you are inside and out.
No, like, I don't see it. So I feel like because I don't see it, it makes it even better for you to say it to me. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah,
because
like, you're not conceited. I get it.
Like, you know, okay.
And not you have a low self-esteem. You do not have a low self-esteem, but it's that you don't see what other people.
Yeah, I don't see it, but like, everybody says it, and I'm like, okay, well, thank you. You know, I appreciate it, but I'm very territorial. Mm-hmm. If I know that we really are in a serious relationship, like, you are the person I am aiming to marry.
Correct.
Don't come near him.
Don't
come near him. Like, don't come near him. Like, don't touch my man. Don't look at my man. Don't do nothing. Like, just don't. Because I want to get to that point where we get married.
But my question is,
it's fine.
Yeah, but before you get into that, my question is, so by you saying, are you feeling, not that you act on it because you're not.
I really don't.
No. But why?
But in my head, like, don't touch him, don't look at him, don't do this, don't do that. Like, I don't know, like, that's what happens in my head, right? And I've come down, you know,
a lot, yes,
through the months. You know, I could say that I've come down, right? Because.
But why did you have a fear? Okay, but besides
so I'll let you know what happened.
Is there a fear that
this is what happens? Because remember, on the last episode, I said that, you know, you do look at the patterns from the previous relationships, and then you start opening your eyes.
New house, old bricks.
And you need to you just need to pay attention to patterns. I'm not saying that I'm bringing it in.
All right.
If I see that you're doing the same thing that guy was doing, I'm gonna start thinking, and I'm gonna start saying, okay, wait, hold up, I remember this. I go into my little filing cabinet, pull it out, be like, okay, so he was doing this. Let me see, is it the same thing? Maybe not. The difference between you and them is that you really are this way. You're just open and you very sociable and all this, right? I'm not a sociable person. I could walk out the door and not say hi to anybody, and it's fine. You walk out the door, and as soon as you open that door, you're saying good morning to everybody, and you're saying good afternoon, and how you doing, and all this stuff. And I'm looking at you like, why are you talking to them? We get to where we need to go, right?
Good morning, my neighbors.
You're looking like Mr. Rogers.
Not Mr. Rogers. Eddie Murphy coming to America.
Nah, you're looking like Mr. Rogers too. Welcome to my neighborhood and shit. So
I'm glad we're together again.
Right? I wasn't ready. However, I also listened to what you said, because we also need to listen when you're in a relationship, when you're beginning, everything that you say, you need to listen. And then you're like, okay, he said that he's very sociable. He said he has all these friends that are females. And, this is just how he is. He treats them like sisters because he has his daughter, and he will want somebody to do it for his daughters. Mm-hmm. And, I also listen that you don't want nobody.
No, right? I never.
To you is innocent.
Correct.
Like, you don't see it, right?
Yes, correct.
So I'm like, why do I need to have this fear that he's going to go look at her and he's going to want to be with her?
Exactly.
He could have been with her before he got with me.
Yeah, exactly.
These are the things that I say to myself, that if you are kind of doing what he was doing, I'm going to say, wait, let me bring it back. Let me remember, these are the things that he said already that he would do. And he said that he toned it down a little bit for me.
And you saw, I even went, out of respect for you, because one of the patterns that a lot of people, because it was very subtle, as soon as I added you onto my social media, even with my close female friends, I used to give them red hearts. I used to do the little 3 hearts, the little hearts around the emoji, right?
Yeah.
When they said something. And now I'm starting to do that again with my close female friends, because now you understand who I am. But there was a period of time that those hearts went to yellow. And I was using color hearts that I never used before
I appreciate it.
Because it's called adaptation, because I adapted to your feelings.
And I appreciate it because you let me really see, who you are. Because of course, I need to learn you first, right?
Yeah.
And I need to see that you really do mean that you want to be with me and you respect me and everything. Now I'm okay. Shit, I throw hearts to them too.
Exactly.
And I be calling them baby.
And now they're just as good they're just as good friends with you as they are me. They
flirt with me more. They flirt with me
when they've never flirted with me. Exactly. That's the funny part.
And that's it's the most funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah, but no, and they love you. All my friends love you. Even my acquaintances love you. People that don't know you.
I love all of y'all.
Yeah, they know, and they love this. They love that we're so transparent and that we talk and we're doing this mini podcast. I think is a good idea. How long we're gonna do these podcasts? We don't know. Maybe we'll run out of shit to talk about.
But I did explain to you, and I did tell you what the other guys were doing.
Yes.
So that way that it wasn't like something that it just automatically, this is who I am and that's what I do. It's just that they heard me like that so bad that, I told you, I'm like, can you just bring it down a notch so that way, I don't see the resemblance, right?
Yeah.
They were constantly. And with you, you're like their kid's picture, it's not just that, you know. It's not just their naked pictures like he was doing.
Yeah. So unwarranted jealousy or jealousy to any extent, instead of just fighting about it, communicate it. Because if the person really loves you, like I love Michelle, right? You will adapt. Don't change who you are. Just adapt to who they are, right? I'll give you a perfect example. Ashanti was my childhood crush, right? I'm never gonna date Ashanti, right? But I did say, wow, Ashanti looks hot.
You said it like 15 times.
15, I don't know. I guess
I counted. I was like, but wait, hold up.
So it made you feel a certain way.
Yeah, because like enough already.
Yeah,
okay, she looks good for her age, but enough. Like what happened?
But you apologized. I mean, sorry. I apologize. Sorry, I apologize. But you also apologized for acting the way you did, knowing that I would never meet that celebrity. But then you said, oh, what if there's another girl that looks like Ashanti, since you think Ashanti's hot? And I'm like, you know what? You do have a point for being jealous in that particular moment, because I may encounter somebody, because you people have lookalikes.
I felt like I was being disrespectful.
Correct. And
that's what it was.
And I apologized, and I changed the behavior. I changed the behavior so much that now we even joke about it.
Yeah.
Right.
So basically what we're saying is, if this is really happening, right, just stop. Listen. Take in what the other person is telling you, and then fix it together.
Yes.
When you have communication and you have respect, everything is possible.
Yes. Don't fight. Don't disrespect each other. Arguments are going to happen in a relationship.
We're not perfect.
We're not perfect. We've had our arguments. We've had big arguments, but we don't put that out there, because when we work on our arguments, we talk it out. We don't blow up. We don't call each other out of our name. Before we do that, we rather hang up the phone. And to us, hanging up the phone, which again, we don't argue as much, but we've maybe had like one major argument where we hung up the phone, cooled off, and then spoke about it. And then the conversation was so much better, and we were able to understand each other instead of just
grow.
Nobody wins an argument. This is what you're gonna understand. There's no such thing as winning in an argument.
No,
because somebody's always you both have to lose the argument, because at the end of the day, the person that love wins, and the person that quote unquote loses the argument or wins the argument, the other person is gonna feel like they have something else to say. That's why when you reconcile after the argument and you're taking a shower, you're like, damn, but I should have said this. Why? Because that mentality is like, oh, I should have won that argument. No.
And I'm okay. Like when you apologize, then I apologize.
That's it.
And I tell you, I'm also sorry for coming out of my face.
Yes. Swallow your pride and swallow your ego.
Swallow it.
Swallow your ego.
Yeah. Because love is more important.
And love will always win.
And if you feel that this is your person, this is your soulmate, there's no ego, there's no pride, there's nothing. Fine. If he says that I'm wrong, fine, I'm wrong. Even though sometimes I don't feel that way, and you'll know what battle to pick. The one that he's disrespecting you, that's the battle. Or she's disrespecting you. That's the battle you need to pick. Because you need to explain to them, you're disrespecting me by this.
Correct.
If there's no disrespect happening, just let it be and be like, I'm sorry, babe.
And if there is disrespect and it's brought to your attention and the pattern continues, then that's a red flag.
Yeah.
And that's where you need to reconsider the relationship, no matter how good the sex is, no matter how don't be with somebody out of fear of being alone. Do not tolerate shit for fear of being alone, because trust me, Michelle and I love each other to death.
But I could be alone.
And we could be alone because we're not codependent on each other. So that's one of the main things. Don't be too jealous. Communicate and don't depend on anybody else.
There is a thin line between
jealousy and territorial.
There really is that thin line. Don't cross that line.
Once you explained to me the territorial aspect of it, I understood, because you don't know women from a hole in the wall. I guess I'm territorial too, because there's been times that you've been to my gigs and you're by yourself and these guys are approaching you. And I do approach it to leave my presence known.
Yeah.
So that I don't consider that jealousy. I'm like, just relax. She has somebody. That's it. I don't say it, but my presence should be mine.
Because it's okay. You know that he is doing it, in an intention that he wants to talk to me because he kind of wants me.
Exactly.
I don't know that. I'm thinking you're being nice.
No, you got boobs. You got, come on.
I know, but I'm thinking he's being nice and whatever. But you could tell what his intentions are. The same thing with me. I could tell what the girl's intentions are.
Or might be.
Or no.
Or might be.
I could tell what the girl's intentions are.
Right.
So this is why I, would get the way that I would get.
Right.
is different.
Yeah, so it's okay to be territorial, not okay to be jealous. And once again, don't be in a relationship for fear of being alone.
Amen.
Thank you for listening. I'm Cryptic.
And I'm Shelly. And this show went a little bit...
It was good. The conversation was good. But we try not to make it more than 30 minutes. We aim for 15, 25 minutes tops.
But this one was a good one.
This one was great. Shit.
Well, yeah, you know, you'll be a TV, whatever.
Hopefully, you guys found this episode helpful and have a great Valentine's Day, whether you're by yourself or somebody. Don't
go out with
it.
your best friend.
Go out. There's such thing as going out for Valentine's Day.
And if you need a Valentine, you can come and get me.
I won't be territorial. I'll let her go. All right, guys. Have a good one.
Leave your comments. Love ya.
Leave your comments. Leave your comments. Please like this podcast and suggest any topic that you want us to discuss. Like, if you guys want us to have an opinion about something, let us know. We'll definitely, if it's relatable to us, we'll talk about it.
Yes.
All right. Once again, thanks for listening. Shelly, I love you.
I love you more.
See you next time.
Bye.